Started?
Okay, okay. All right. So yes. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to Do It Yourself Branding and Marketing Series. This is the first day of a series of 2 workshops. We're hoping next Wednesday we're going to have another session, and that's supposed to be, I believe, September 30th, and then the last one will be we're going to try to stick to this time, 9:30 in the morning, and try to stick to an hour and probably a couple more minutes after. But so I know y'all know Kelly. She's very entertaining. She's really good at what she does. So we're looking forward to hear from her. My name is Vielka Buchanan. I'm the Economic Development Manager for the City of Lauderdale Lakes. And we are hoping to bring more of these type of sessions to our business community and overall. So with that being yours.
Wonderful, thank you. Thanks everybody for joining me. I'm going to mute everybody for right now, and at some point during this, I will unmute everyone. I'm going to go fast because I want to try and keep us to an hour. I know that everyone's dealing with all kinds of different work schedules right now, and kids at home potentially. So, but I'm here. So at the end of this meeting, I'm here. I will take any questions. I'll stay as long as we need to. But I'm going to mute everybody now. The chat box will be open if you need it. Okay, let's see. Everyone see my screen? Feel good. Can you see my screen? Yeah, got it. Okay, thanks. Okay, so we are here to talk about branding. We are it's Branding 101. So it's not going to tell you everything that you've ever wanted to know, but it will give you a pretty good idea of what you need to be looking at from a branding standpoint. And this is branding for business. There are similar techniques, but slightly different techniques if you are branding for yourself. And as we go through this, I'll kind of weave a few of those in, but I do an entire course on how to brand yourself, which in some cases is your business. But the first thing to know is that every business has a brand. Whether you think you have a brand or not, you do. And your brand either reflects and enhances your mission and the vision you have for your business, or it doesn't. And in this workshop today, we're going to talk about how I can help you create your brand or audit your current brand to make sure that it's reflecting your the best you can be. So what we're going to learn today, we are going to look at the branding basics. We're going to start a brand book. I'm going to talk to you about what a brand is and what it isn't, how to identify your target audience and what that is. Then we're going to walk through some things that a lot of times we start businesses and don't do. It's human nature to kind of take some shortcuts, but if you're here and you're thinking about a brand, then you probably want to take a couple of minutes and learn about what your brand promise is, what your vision, mission, and mission is. Then create a brand architecture, which is understanding your position and purpose, as well as the core values, personality, and then I'll walk you through a brand audit. Next week, we are going to be doing DIY logos and brand identity. So for any of you who have a brand already, but either need to update your logo, want to change your fonts, want to just something doesn't feel right. That's what next week's going to be all about. It'll be about the psychology of color, how to pick the perfect fonts so that they really resonate with consumers and connect on a more of an emotional level and look great, but do it yourself at low cost. And then the final seminar is going to be graphics and marketing. And that's where we're going to start taking a look at what are the pro ad design basics that you need to know. And then we're going to use my favorite tool, which is Canva. It's free, to show you how to do some DIY ads, flyers. And then I want to show you some design magic, how to take the background out of a photo, and then how to create a design once and resize it magically. So that's what we're doing. Again, welcome, Lauderdale Lakes business owners. And this is your personal page. wpdesignlab.com, Lauderdale Lakes, is the page that has all of the stuff that we talk about, has special offers, has links to any of the tools that I talk about. And this is where I will also be posting the replays. So this is your resource. This is for you. Use it, share it. Okay, so I think most of you attended the last series, but just in case you didn't, I am Kelly Damasio, and I help people just like you learn how to confidently do DIY branding, marketing, and web design. And I've helped people like you for a lot of years. Sometimes it's embarrassing to think how many years I've been doing this, but I've done it for companies as large as Fortune 500, Fortune 25 companies. And I spend a lot of time now working with individual companies and small businesses to help them figure out the best way to go about marketing and building their websites to truly become a business. Look bigger than you are, in other words. So time to sit back, get ready to learn, turn off your cell phones, and I want you to grab a pen and paper. Wasn't as important in the last session. If you've got pen and paper in front of you, it'll really be helpful as we go through some of this, because I really want you to stop and write some of this stuff down, because you are 5 times more likely to achieve things that you commit to in writing. And the things we're going to talk about today will become the foundation of your brand book. So be patient and intuitive. Complete the exercise as we go along to your best of your ability. You could always go back and adjust, but the reality here is that you intuitively already have the answers in your head. It's your business. You know all about it. And so the things that we're going to talk about today will help you to create that strong foundation so that you can create an extraordinary brand that is memorable in people's minds. So what is a brand? According to the Google Dictionary, it is a type of product manufactured by a particular company under a particular name, like Tide. Or it is that mark that we burn into livestock, that brand on a sheep. Well, branding is so much more than that. And everything, I want to remind everyone that one of the key elements to the way that I teach is that I will only show you free or low cost solutions, because the idea here is DIY. If we had millions of dollars to spend on marketing, we wouldn't have to do DIY. So there's almost always a free way to do this, or a very low cost solution to anything that I'm going to teach you. And don't forget, we stick around to the end, we always have a little special offer. So branding is everywhere. No matter where you look, you are looking at branding. You're seeing billboards and signs, and these billboards and signs make you think, but they also connect with you on an emotional level. There's branding on bus stops. There's branding on walls, wall art. There's branding inside of coffee shops. Even your little local coffee shop may have a neon, and that's branding. Branding happens on cups. It happens on uniforms. It happens in big neon, and it happens in billboards. So I told you we wanted to work on a brand book today, and this is great. If you already have a brand book, That's awesome. Yay to you. Most people don't, but this is a great time to go back and revisit your thoughts and assumptions and make any adjustments in your plan. Or if your brand has evolved, this is a great time to go back and say, how has my brand evolved? And do I need to make some adjustments to the way that I am presenting my brand to the world? And if you have a business but have never created one, now's the time to do it. And if you're just starting out, then congratulations, you get to start with a brand book today, and it'll make life so much easier. And it is okay to not know all the answers. You're working intuitively. Do not judge your answers. Don't let that inner critic start getting in here and making you nervous or scared, or, you know, I can't answer this question because I don't know the answer. You know the answer. Just let it flow, and you can always come back and refine your thinking later as you learn more and more things. So don't worry about it. You will evolve, your brand will evolve, and I think someone new just joined us. If you can mute your microphone, that would be awesome. So first thing we're going to do is talk about choosing your target audience. And you'll hear this talked about as the persona, the avatar, your tribe. I use the still kind of old, and that's newfangled language. The old fashioned language is target audience. And I still use that because to me, I'm building something that I hope will help someone else, that I believe will make someone else's life better. And when I start to think about it as an audience, I also think about the fact that I'm performing for them every day, every time they have an interaction with me. So however you want to think about it, it is your target audience. It is the people you are talking to, and it is the reason you built whatever product or service you've built. So choosing your target audience really is nothing more than trying to understand everything about your target audience. And I mean that everything. This is where you can get pretty granular on who you're specifically talking to. And once you do that, you will be able to get so much more focused, so much clearer, and so much more concise in the way that you talk to them, in the way that your advertising works. So when I say everything, I'm really saying describe your audience. Who are they? Are they male? Are they female? What are their hopes? What are their dreams? What do they love? Who do they love? What makes them happy? What makes them unique? What is their favorite color? Are they wild or are they mild? What are their fears? What are their desires? How much money do they make? Doesn't matter. One of the things that's really important here is to try and get to this idea of really understanding who you're talking to. And I like to create a person. This will all be posted on the website later today, but I start with, and you might want to write this down as your first thing in the series. Describe your target audience. And I mean, not describe them demographically. It's not that they're 18 to 24-year-olds making $40,000 a year. It's that they are, pick a person. You might even name your target audience. You might even give that person a name. If you're predominantly female, maybe your female name is Monica, and Monica needs, what does she need? What does she hope for? What does she dream for? What is her favorite color? Write all of those things down. And like I said, I will be posting to the website a little bit later today a way to really sketch this out and really think about who that is, so that you're talking to a person, not just this amorphous target audience. Narrow your focus. Get good at connecting with them on an individual basis. Yes, there's going to be lots of different people. We all are different, but you have an idea of your ideal target and you've built something that specifically addresses someone's needs, desires, wants, problems. And that's the first thing, is to describe your target audience. I will put up a form that will help you make this picture happen. Went the wrong way. So what is a brand? The first things that we always think of, it's the trademarks, it's the logos, it's the iconography. And iconography is nothing more than either icons or pictures or color, that go along with this. And you'll notice that a lot of different people use icons. For instance, I use this little icon here, the little star thing, as one of the things that I do to call out important things in my presentations. And the idea behind creating iconography that works for your brand is so that your brand looks consistent, so that when someone sees your tangibles, they immediately recognize that as your brand. And again, the tangibles include trademarks, logos, iconography, colors, and your distinctive name. Then the intangibles are the brand promise, the personality, the character of your brand. Have you ever thought about your brand as a person? What kind of person would your brand be? And then it's the emotional connections that all of this together help to create a picture in your idea target audience's mind about what you represent and why they should do business with you. So intangibles are equally important and maybe more important than tangibles. All effective brands are authentic and believable. Have you ever worked with someone or been in a situation where you needed a service or something, but the person that was talking to you just didn't come off as authentic, came off as either too scripted or too unapproachable, and you just didn't get that connection because it didn't feel real, it didn't feel authentic. You can't fake authenticity. So if you are a small solopreneur or have a small business, to be authentic means that you've got to live and breathe whatever you decide you're going to be, and you can't be something that you're not. So authentic and believable are the two cornerstones of all effective brands. And they create emotional connections with the people that that they've been built for. Because remember, all good brands have been built with their end consumer in mind. And maybe, and I say that, and then let me stop and back up. So Coca-Cola had a product that they decided they needed to market. Once they knew what they had in this drink, they went out and started telling people about how awesome it was. And then, through that, we're able to create emotional connection. So every brand, whether you start with a product or you have a service, every brand is authentic and believable. And that's what creates emotional connections with your target audience. So now that we know kind of what a brand, the pieces that make up your brand, something else is super important about this, and that is your brand is what people think and say your brand is. You can have all of the, flowery words and pretty pictures on a page, but until that brand is out in the wild and you start getting feedback from your target audience, it's still just a brand on a piece of paper. So your brand in the wild is what people think and say about your company, your business, your product, your service. And if you are the service, what they say about you. So again, authentic, believable. I can't overstate that enough, because your branding is not just your logo. It's not your tagline. It is all of the things that you do to make yourself unique, better, special. You'll hear me use unique, better, special a few dozen times probably today. So what do people say about your brand? This is a great auditing tool. And like I said, I will have all of this on the website, because you really, really, really want to go and take a look at this. Ask some of your customers, what are the things that are positive about my brand? You're not asking them what's good about my logo. You're not asking them what's great about my tagline. It's what's great about my entire branding presentation. So if it's Starbucks, it's a combination of the logo, it's a combination of the place that you go to get it, it's a combination of the baristas making your drink in front of you, it's a combination of someone calling out your name, and writing all of your special requests down on your cup. And what made Starbucks special? There are lots of people selling coffee, but you got coffee. With Starbucks, they really took that idea of customizing something specific to the individual consumer to the nth degree. So when you go to Starbucks, you don't just get a latte, you get a soy latte with 3 pumps of hazelnut and extra foam. And that's what makes the Starbucks brand stand out among all the other coffee shops. It's not just their logo, it's not just the place, it's the entire experience that makes them stand out. So when you find out what people are saying about your brand, you're going to keep the positive, and then anything that is neutral or negative, you're going to search for ways to make that change, to change that. And I think the best way to think about what your brand is and what is a brand promise is your brand is a promise delivered. So when you think about what your business is, remember, you're making a promise to someone every time they see your logo, they see your tagline. And remember, it isn't a tagline or a slogan, but it is the consistent value that's delivered to the consumer and to the world. So all of the visual things that you see with a brand are tied to this promise. And whatever you promise, whether you promise to be the best plumber that I've ever had, or you promise to be the best hairdresser, or you promise to be the best beauty salon, it's about how you deliver on that promise, so that every time someone sees a piece of your tangible brand assets, they think positive things and they say positive things about your brand, because word of mouth is probably one of the best ways to get people to recognize and understand your brand and to buy from you and repeat buy from you. So let's take a look at some examples of brand promises. Coca-Cola's brand promise is refresh the world in mind, body, and spirit, and inspire moments of optimism to create value and make a difference. Starbucks, to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. And then Nike, to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. And the asterisk in their brand promise says that if you have a body, you are an athlete. Amazon's brand promise is to deliver the broadest selection of products and services at the lowest prices with minimal hassle. And then Apple is think different. They create products based on seeing the world a little differently, and they want to inspire their consumers to do the same. So as you can see, all of these are fairly aspirational, but, and I mean, I worked for Coca-Cola for a lot of years. So the brand promise lived in everything we did. It controlled how we held meetings. It informed every interaction we had either inside of the company with vendors, when we were at industry meetings, working with customers, all the way down to how our break rooms were set up and how we marketed to the consumer. I love Starbucks because the idea of inspiring and nurturing the human spirit through that one cup, one person, one neighborhood at a time is such an amazing concept, especially for such a large corporation. Now, most of us are running small businesses. So think about how you can connect with that one person in a unique, better, special way to start to create and craft this brand story of your own. So what is your brand promise? These are the 3 things that you want to think about when you're crafting your brand promise. You want to make it simple and authentic. How does it make you unique, better, special, and make sure that it's memorable and inspiring? And then as you write this promise, a couple of things you need to think about. You have to have the ability and the commitment. And that's really important. The commitment is where a lot of companies fall short. There's everybody has grand ideas, and then we realize that there's only so many hours in the day. That's why you may not be able to be everything to everyone, but you can do a couple of things, a couple of simple things really authentically that make you unique, better, and special than everyone else, because you've got to have the ability and you've got to commit to always keeping this promise. And it should ID the problem that your brand solves. Okay, so make sure that you're showing people how this solves their problem, and write out a brand promise. Remember, you're 5 times more likely to achieve things that you write out. So then brand vision is the next piece here. And the brand vision is your utopian destination. It is about the future. So whether you're starting today as a company who's had been around for a few years, or a company who is just starting out, this is the place where you think about your future. What is it that you want to be? It is the destination. And it's also important to remember that this is the one that is internally focused. The brand's vision is all about the stakeholders, the employees, the owner, you, and where you want to go. We haven't gotten to the how yet. It's a where you want to go. And it should be aspirational, and it should be a stretch goal. For instance, right now with WP Design Lab, my aspirational goal is to democratize branding, marketing, and web design so that the most people can learn to do it themselves. And, my vision is to reach millions of people with this message, not just a few, but millions of people with this message, so that they can go out and create successful businesses in a way that works for them without having to have big budgets. You can do it on your kitchen table. You can do it, DIY web design and web and marketing is something you can do a couple of hours a week, a couple of hours a day, but it makes it super easy for you to be able to build something without having to have the big budgets. Then the next piece is the brand mission. And this is the journey, and it is your map. And your brand mission is about right now. These are the directions to your destination. It is externally focused. It's the consumer, plus the marketplace. So now you've moved from what you desire to put out there because you've got a solution to problems that your target audience has. And now you're saying the consumer and the marketplace, how am I going to make sure that I can act on my vision so that I can help the greatest number of people? So now you're starting to get into more of a business planning phase here. This is the what and the why of your business. Why do you exist? Who do you exist for? What service do you have? And you may actually also have a literal roadmap here. If today you're starting with, as a solopreneur and you have a hair salon and you're just going to be the only person in that salon, maybe your next step is that you want to have three, I don't even know what they're called, stylists in your salon. I guess that's how long it's been since I've had a haircut. I can't even remember what it's like to go to a beauty parlor. Anyway, this is the map, the roadmap, and you can start to create benchmarks for yourself as you start talking about your brand mission. So the brand vision and mission work together because they are the directions and the destination to success for your business. These are a couple of examples that I pulled just so you can get an idea of what mission and visions are in the real world. MasterCard's vision is every day, everywhere. We use our technology and expertise to make payments safe, simple, and smart. And their vision is a world beyond cash. I love this next one, Make-A-Wish. The mission of Make-A-Wish International is to grant the wishes of children with life-threatening medical conditions to enrich the human experience with hope, strength, and joy. Their vision is dedicated to making every eligible child's wish come true. Simple, to the point, but their mission also connects on an emotional level with the ideas of enriching that human experience with strength, hope, and joy. And then Tesla, their mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. That's pretty standard fare. And then their vision is to create the most compelling car company of the 21st century by driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. Now, I have to be perfectly honest. MasterCard's inspires me. Make-A-Wish inspires me. Tesla's, and I use this specifically to say, with such an innovative company, I would have expected something much more inspirational, aspirational from them. But I use this as an example to say, this is really just how simple it can be. You don't have to write the great manifesto. You don't have to write the great American novel to get this, because it's succinct. I would have liked to have seen Tesla's vision be a little bit more aspirational, with a little bit more connection to why people should do that, but it works for them. It's working really well. So there are no wrong answers here. Some of them will just help you get to a place that you want to go faster. And if you have employees, one of the other reasons for writing this stuff down is it's much easier to have something that your employees can refer to when you want them to understand what the vision, mission, brand promise is, and you want them to be a part of delivering it. Because whether you think about it or not, every single person who works for or works with your company is a reflection of your brand. And you want everyone to be as well versed in what your vision is as you are. And without writing it down, you don't have a way to share that. You can tell the story, but as we all know from the old game of telephone when we were kids, by the time it gets to the fourth person, it's no longer anywhere close to what we started with. So I highly encourage you to write down your brand mission. You can do that now. If you've got that piece of paper out, just jot down a few things. And you're going to work backwards from the future. What is the desired future state? Also, while you're thinking about this, I want you to remember the art of the possible. Don't let your circumstances of right now define what you will be tomorrow. Right now, you are, doesn't matter where you are right now. What matters is where you want to go. And for any of you who ride a bicycle or ride a motorcycle, one of the first things they teach you is keep your eyes on where you want to go, because your bike will follow your eyes. So keep your eye on the future. Don't let today be your defining moment. Tomorrow is your defining moment. Every day can be a defining moment. It is about an aspirational future. It is the destination, and this is internally focused. This is the place that every one of your stakeholders, employees, shareholders, business partners, family need to be on board with where you're going with your vision. So this is a really easy way to do this exercise. It's kind of, do you guys remember Mad Libs? I used to love those things, the fill in the blank things. It would make up all kinds of crazy things. Anyway, keep your vision statement short and memorable. Try to keep it to 10 words, 15 words max. So again, you're not writing paragraphs and you're doing this intuitively. My vision or our vision is a world where blank. What happens? Our vision is a world where every person has the opportunity to become a hero. We exist so that, for me, we exist so that everyone can learn how to DIY their own marketing and become successful entrepreneurs. Here's an example of vision statement from Habitat for Humanity. They have a vision that of a world where everyone has a decent place to live. So I would highly recommend either jot it down now or come back to this. I will have all of this on the website in a format that you'll be able to download and take notes on. So your brand mission is no more than 2 sentences. The shorter, the easier it will be to remember. And again, this is just fill in the blanks. Our mission is to do whatever your mission is to do for your target audience. And we're going to do that by delivering whatever it is you're going to deliver, whatever service you're using. So 2 to 3 short sentences, maybe just 1 sentence. And remember, the shorter this is, the easier it will be for you to remember, the easier it will be for you to get this to be internalized with your stakeholders, with your customers, with your employees. So short and sweet. Keep it short and sweet. Now, brand experience. This is something that there is no way that I can share with you everything that you need to think about with brand experience, but I think if we get through the basic concepts, you'll start to see a pattern here. I teach an entire seminar that goes for 3 days on brand experience. But for your purpose, right now, all that matters is that you really drill down into the core of the experiences your brand delivers or could deliver. So let's say today you're not really doing anything special. That's okay. And it happens. We get busy. We get busy just paying the bills and getting from one moment to the next. But doesn't mean that you can't create new brand experiences. So to write down what your brand experience is today. And then the next piece is understanding how you're going to be this colorful fish swimming against the grain by differentiating yourselves from your competitors, which means you got to know who your competitors are. So take a look around you. Who's doing the same thing that you are? I know they may not be doing it exactly the same way you are, but they're still competitors. They're still a viable option for someone who's looking to find an electrician or go to a restaurant. So your job now is to figure out how you will be different or unique, better, and special from your competitors. And then what do you want your audience to remember? And what do you want them to think and say about your business? Again, go back to one of my earlier slides, which is be authentic, be honest, and then remember that this is about what people are going to think and say about you. So how can you differentiate yourself from your competitors? Another story from my life, my husband is a contractor, and a couple of years ago, he decided to open up a impact window business. And he, I don't know, you probably get flyers in your mail 3 times a week with different people who are trying to sell you impact windows. And it was, he wanted to keep like a little small company, but, we also wanted to be competitive. We wanted, to differentiate ourselves. So one of the things that we did is, instead of it just being, yeah, we'll come out, we'll install your windows, we're going to give you the best windows at the best price to make your home safe. We're also going to, our unique, better, special proposition was, our installers will come in and they will be with a checklist of all the things that have to happen. They will have booties on, they will have protective equipment on. This is before we needed protective equipment. They will drape everything in your house to keep your house as clean as possible. And then at the end of your installation, we will have a cleaning service come in, clean your house, and clean those brand new windows for you. That's how you make yourself unique, better, special from other people. Those are your signature moments that make you different. And so this is, again, remember, what do you want your folks to remember about you? Because your best avenue of marketing, once you've got one person that you're working with, they are your best marketing going forward. So let's talk about core experiences again. Write this down. You want to drill down into what core experiences your brand could deliver. What are memorable moments, signature experiences, and then that idea of a little something extra. And when I say ceremonies, I'm not talking about the guy here dressed, for a ceremonial event. I'm just talking about little ceremonies. If you're doing something with, signing a contract to provide some type of service, make the contract signing a little bit more of a ceremony versus just here, sign here and give me your check. Because people remember that. People remember, especially if you're selling bigger ticket items or even little ticket items that feel like a luxury. The more you can do to make it feel special, the greater the chance that you're going to differentiate yourself from your competitors. So memorable moments. So with going back to the window company, one of the memorable moments was, we would always have our folks walk in. The first thing they did was, cover their boots so that they didn't do, and this is our salespeople too. Cover your shoes. You walk into a customer's house, you cover your shoes. You respect their location. You always asked if it was okay to sit. You asked questions. And then our big memorable moment was, we had a small sample that we had made to take in and actually be able to demonstrate the product, demonstrate the energy efficiency by using lights and a variety of other things. So you can create memorable moments on just about anything. If we could do it for selling windows, you can do it in your business. Those memorable moments a lot of times turn into signature experiences. Those are the things that people will say, oh my gosh, you can't believe these guys came out and they did this, and I felt comfortable making the decision. Because everything you're doing here, all of these brand experiences, are authentic, they're memorable, and they're designed to make people feel like you understand them, because you do, and to make them feel good about doing business with you. And lagniappe is a New Orleans word that I've used since I was a little girl. And that's just that little something extra. No matter what you do for somebody, do something a little something, do something a little bit more. Whether that's giving them a pen, or, and that can tie into souvenirs, or going the extra mile, or, you know, just that little something more that you can do. Okay, so we're going to shift gears here a little bit. This is your brand theme. This all ties back together, but this is actually taking all the stuff that we've just done, the brand promise, vision, mission, and we're going to try and write a title for, if we were going to write a manifesto. So let's say we're going to write a long letter to our ideal target customer, our target audience, and we're going to tell them all the amazing things that our business is going to do. So when you think of manifesto, it is aspirational. And this is one of those that you can, fewer words is better. Distill it down to a 3 or 4 word title about what makes you and your brand unique, better, and special. So that's what that is all about. And then you're going to use all of these statements to help you refine your messaging and inform organizational decisions. Your brand purpose is the why and the how. Why does your brand exist? How does it solve a consumer's problems? And how does it enhance your consumer's life? Hey gang, I know I'm getting close to the end here, but I've still got actually a little ways to go. So hopefully you can stick with me. And if you can, that'd be awesome. Your brand positioning. What position do you occupy in the brand of your target audience right now? Now, if you have a business, you'll be able to ask questions about how, you know, where are you in their mind. If you don't have a brand now, think about where you want to be in their mind and start creating from there. And then your positioning is all about, how does your brand occupy their mind share versus your competitors? What makes you unique, better, and special? So this is really the code that your brand lives by. That's your values. We're going to start talking, we're transitioning into brand values. And I've had lots of, this is where there's always this, you know, especially in big companies, well, we don't really have to have values because, you know, we've got all the mission, the vision, but this is really important because this is what ties you back to that idea of being authentic, honest, and trustworthy. And this really will inform the way that you do things. And remember, I said that to create a brand experience, you have to be willing to always be able to achieve your goals and always commit to doing it. And when I say always, look, there are times when you're not going to meet someone's expectations. And then we talk about something called service recovery, which we'll talk about in a little bit later time. But your goal is to always, with every ounce of your being, with every fiber of what you do, to satisfy your brand promise to people. And so when you start talking about core values, you probably have 3 or 4 core values that you hold really dear to your heart, and they may be the same core values that you hold in your own life. This is how, and if you're a solopreneur, this may not feel like it's super important, but it is. And here's why. You're not always going to just be working by yourself. You're going to have contractors, you're going to have suppliers, you're going to have other people, and you want to make sure that everyone across this entire value chain hold your whole same core values. And if they're touching your consumer at all, you want to make sure that they are out there with the same values that you have and not looking bad, making you look bad. That's why there's morals clauses in a lot of Hollywood's contracts and things like that, because your brand is precious, and this is where you protect it by creating a standard of value, a core values standard. And in some cases, one of the things that I like to teach is the way to know that these are really your core values is that if these are something you will absolutely not compromise on, and if you would hold these values, even if you thought these values might in some way cost you business. So when you write out your 3 or 4 or 5 core values, remember, you want to make these, they don't have to be tons of them. I mean, it could just be as simple as live by the golden rule. Treat others as I want to be treated. But it needs to you need to make sure that you have a burning desire that those values really are something that are not compromisable for you. So your core values are your true north. They help you chart the course for your long-term strategies and goals, and they will inform everything that you do about how your organization conducts business, makes decisions, and the conduct that you expect from everyone who is associated with your organization. I already said that. So this is a great time. If you've been following along, go ahead and jot down some of your core values. And right now, start with words. Start with, like honesty, trust, teamwork, whatever the core value word is. But then I highly encourage you to spend a little bit of time here and actually write a couple of sentences about the things that I am not going to compromise. My core values are, and I will not compromise on the following things. This can become like really important when you're asked to do something that goes against the grain of your core values. Having already written it down, having already thought through this will make making some of those decisions not quite as tough, even if it has a financial impact to your business. Okay, we're getting close to the end. Now we're going to start talking about how to craft this brand personality. So we've been talking about the target audience. We've talked about what a brand is and what a brand isn't. But now it's time to start making this brand feel like a person. So how would someone describe your brand's personality? Does your brand identify as a specific gender? Is my tone playful or serious? Something in between? The value. Now this is on the value continuum. I know we just came from core values. This is actually on the value continuum. Am I a budget brand? Is my goal purely to deliver the best product at the lowest price? Or am I on that luxury continuum? Am I on the idea of, like Chanel or, a luxury brand, Gucci, or something in between? But on that value continuum, understand where you live there. And then time. Is my brand modern? Is it classic? Does it have a time period? Would your brand best be living in the Victorian age or the Art Deco period? Or is it futuristic? Would it be better living 20 or 40 years from now, or like a Jetsons kind of retro? What's the time period for your brand? And then if your brand were a person, how old would it be? Is your brand 20 years old? Is your brand 50 years old? And you're going to notice that you should notice when you're doing this, that there should be a lot of parallels between the person that you're building this for and how your brand's personality starts to lay out. And then what is their energy? Is your brand the life of the party? Are they out there, woohoo, let's go party all the time? Or is it an introvert? Are they more contemplative? Or is it something in between? So this is a great place for you to stop, write down your brand personality, just jot down some ideas about what, what things, the first things that come to your mind about your brand personality. And then the brand character. This is the aggregate. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I'm sure that was really loud in your ear. These are the aggregate features and traits that form the individual nature of a person or thing. These are your mental and moral qualities, and they're distinctive to the person or thing, to the brand. So now that you know the personality, add some character traits in here. The brand is trustworthy, the brand is honest, the brand is innovative, the brand is helpful. Those types of character traits, you want to flesh those out and put those into your brand character. And you can go ahead and write some of those down or jot some of those ideas, or at least note that you want to go grab the paper to download so that you can jot these ideas down. So that pretty much wraps up, and I know I brushed through those last few slides. So to get us to a place where if we want to have some question and answers, we can. If you need help, call me, 754-225-2044, and make sure you visit the Lauderdale Lakes page. I continually update that with new and cool things to make sure that you have everything. You will have the posted later today, this brand audit and the brand workbook that will start to help you build your brand book. Next week, we're going to be looking at your brand ID package and creating a brand standards page or book. But all of that information will be up on the page. So I told you that there was a special offer coming here at the end. Call me and or go to the website, schedule a time, and we will do a one-on-one brand audit. So if you take the time to jot down just a few of these ideas that we've talked about today, I'll be happy to sit with you and give you some ideas about refining it or helping you bring it to life. And then, as always, we've got special offers and resources over there. And thank you so much. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys being here. And this work that we did today, I know feels, it can feel hard. It can also feel unnecessary, but I guarantee that when we get into the next couple of sections where we're looking for the perfect logo, or we're looking at our old logo and saying, gosh, could it be better? If you've done this work, it'll make it so much easier to, create logo and ad materials and all of the different things that you need to have to build your brand and to build your business if you've spent some time doing this work. Okay, so next week is DIY logos and brands. We will walk through all the different types of logos that are out there. We're going to take a look at what fonts, and that's just the typography you're using. That's just the, like what you type into things. Well, I'll talk to you about the basics of fonts and the psychology behind them. We'll talk about color psychology, and then I'm going to walk you through how to pick the perfect fonts and color palette for your brand and for the things that you create out of this brand book. I will show you how to create a brand ID package, and I will show you how to create a brand board with the brand standards. October 7th, we'll get more into the graphics and marketing, but next week. So the work that we did today, if you'll take the time to write this stuff down, will really help you in next week's course. Can't wait to see what you're going to create. And thank you, everybody. And I'm just going to go back over here. And now I'm going to see what's going on in the chat. Yes, everybody, the slides will be available to view. I will be sending out an email shortly after we conclude this session so that you'll have access to the slides and you'll be able to see everything that we talked about today. And now I am going to open this up for questions. And everybody can be unmuted. Anybody have any questions? Hello? Anybody there? Anybody have anything that
Thank you, Kelly, for your presentation.
And I'm in the class. Okay.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Are we okay? Can you hear?
We're having trouble hearing. I'm having trouble hearing you, Vilka.
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello?
Okay. Yes. I'm here. I can answer your questions.
Okay, thank you, Kelly, for your presentation. It was very informative. Where can we find that sheet where we can fill in our ideas and thoughts on the questions you asked us?
If you, I will send a link to the actual worksheet, but it will also be posted on that page, WP Design Lab, Lauderdale Lakes, just as soon as we are, takes me about a half an hour to get the recording back from the lesson and make a few edits, and then it'll be up on that website.
Okay.
You'll also get an email from me.
Okay, great.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Well, if there are no further questions, I guess we'll talk next week, next Wednesday, September 30th at 9:30. And again, we are going to go about looking at DIY logos, brand ID packages. Thanks to everyone.